Hello and welcome. This is a Shadowrun character build for 5th edition. I'm showing a standard character that is very basic for new players who are just starting out. So let's get to it. First thing I chose for my character is resources at A priority, attributes at B priority, skills at C priority, metatype at D priority, magic of residence at E, so that equates to 450,000 new yen, 20 attribute points, 28 skills and 2 skill groups, an elf with 0 special attributes points, and magic of residence at mundane. Okay, so I'm going to go to where I put my attribute points. I put a 5 in the body. That's where you get your soak from. So soak is going to be your armor plus your body normally if you take any physical damage. And then next thing I have is agility. I put 6 points. Reaction I put 5 points. Strength I put 1 point. Charisma 3. Intuition at 6. Logic at 2. Willpower at 3. Edge at 3. So I spent 2 karma points into edge to give myself a 3 edge. Now we have these quotations here. This is for cyberware bonuses. So in reality, my agility is at 8, reaction 7, strength at 3, and intuition's at 7. Okay, so you want to know why I put my points in these. Well, I put high agility because I want to be able to use weapons really well, so high agility. Reaction and intuition are for your initiative score. So I want a really high initiative so I have more passes for every initiative pass. So when you have an initiative roll, if you have anything above a 10, that gives you 2 initiative passes. If you have anything above 20, 2 passes, 3 passes over 30, 4, so on and so forth. So you want to have as high initiative as possible. So my initiative starting out is going to be 14 plus 3d6. So I'm going to be guaranteed at least 2 passes every turn. So you'll at least get to go twice, if not 3 times. Most likely with 3d6, you're going to probably get to go 3 times for each initiative pass. Okay, so next thing is I'm going to go back into where I put in more points. I put points for my contacts. So I have 9 free contact points. I want a fixer and I want an armor so I can buy more weapons and gear. So I got contact rating of 3 for my armor and a connection of 3 and a loyalty of 1. So for someone you're going to buy stuff from, loyalty, in my opinion, is not as important as their connection so they can get you gear. With a fixer, you kind of want to have both as much as possible. So connection of 2, loyalty of 3. Now, normally if you want to have a good loyalty, you want to have 3 or above. So that's why I put 3 points here and 2 in here. You can kind of play with this, see what works best for you. This is what I chose. So next thing is skills. So for skills, I got automatics. I put 6 points with a machine pistol specialization. And the reason why I put my specialization in machine pistols is because machine pistols have a shorter range. So to kind of negate the range negative, you want to kind of put more points in machine pistols, which is why I gave it a specialization. Now you could just get rid of this and put points elsewhere, but this for me I think is good because I want to kind of negate that limited range. Now con, fast talk. So you have two choices with con. You got fast talk and seduction. I'm not comfortable playing seduction in role-playing games, so that's just me. I put fast talk. But hey, you do you. Down here we do. I have etiquette, and I put 2 points into that. It's kind of just you want to have some kind of charisma thing that you're going to be able to fit in with people. Etiquette's good. Con is good. Um, if you don't have any kind of charisma-based skills, you're going to get yourself into trouble the first time you go to talk to somebody. So that's going to be kind of important to have some kind of charisma based skills. Etiquette's good to have. Con is good because sometimes you got to lie to people. Alright, so now I have heavy weapons, and I just put 1 point into this so I could use my grenade launcher, which I'll get into later. So with my high agility, that comes out to 11 with my grenade launcher. Now down here, intimidation, I put a couple points into that. Like I said, you want to have some some charisma-based skills so you can deal with those, conversations. Now I put a point into locksmithing. It's an agility skill. It's good to have locksmithing. Sometimes you might want to go through a door that's locked. Now I got navigation. Navigation is kind of important because you don't want to get lost somewhere. Another thing for that is you might want to pick up a map soft, which is going to be covered later when I get to street gear. Okay, next thing is palming. Palming is pretty underrated in my opinion. You always want to have some kind of palming on a character because if you have to go somewhere and you want to bring a weapon with you, you're going to want it palming because if you're trying to hide a weapon and you don't have palming, it just basically is going to be whatever modifiers on your weapon for concealment unless you have palming. If you have palming, you're going to add this, so that's important. And then perception. Perception's kind of important because you're going to be rolling perception all the time, and I chose visual because most things you're going to be seeing with your eyes. You know, if you hear something, that's going to be an 8, but if you want to see something, that's going to be with your eyes, that's a 10. So those are your perceptions. Running, running, you can kind of take it or leave it. I think running is kind of a good thing to have just in case. If you have to make a running check, if you're running long distance, or if you have to sprint somewhere real quickly, your GM might call for a roll. So if you don't have that, you're kind of screwed. Sneaking, I put urban because a lot of environments are going to be urban in the Shadowrun universe. But you might find yourself in a foresty area or whatever, so 9 for that or 11 if it's urban. Now down here, I have tracking. I put a couple points in the tracking, which is part of my group outdoors. Tracking is a good thing to have if you're following footprints or whatever, trying to find somebody. You got your tracking. Okay, so down here, exotic melee weapon. I have monofilament whip. So for this character, I went with monofilament whip because he's going to be very agility based. If you have something like a baseball bat or club, it's going to be based. The damage is going to be based off your strength. So you want something that's going to be either like a monofilament whip that does base damage, or like a stun baton that does base damage that doesn't add strength modifier to it. That's going to be based off of your strength, which this character doesn't have much of anyway. So you want to have a basic average strength though, because that's going to come into later when you get into your armor. Now, these are your limits. And you got physical of 6, mental of 5, social of 4, astral of 5. Astral is not going to mean anything for this character because he is mundane. Now we get into cyberware. Now, some people might like martial arts. I don't really find it very helpful. I don't mess with it. Same thing with qualities. If you're going for a specific concept of building a character and you want quality that'll match that concept, then you might want to go through the quality list. But if you're just going for boosts, it's not worth it in my opinion, because what you get for qualities is not that great compared to spinning in other places like having extra edge. if you want to throw in, extra edge, that is much more, you know, better for me than maybe doing like a +1 to a roll on, whatever blandness or something. So I don't usually mess with qualities. And negative qualities usually screw you over more than they help you in karma points, so I don't really like that either. But, if you want a specific character concept and you want to pick qualities, you do you. Alright, now I'm going to go over to Cyberware and Bioware. That's when you're going to get all these bonuses. So, I picked Dermal Plating 3. That's going to be important for armor. So, I got an armor modifier of 6. 3 of that is from dermal plating. And then I got a fingertip compartment. That's good for hiding a mono whip. So that's a good thing to have if you're going to go with a mono whip. You may not want that if you're going to go with like a stun baton, because stun baton you could use without hiding it. Most people let you into places with a stun baton because it's not really restricted at all. And then I got muscle replacements of 2, and that's where you see the bonuses going into your agility and strength. So it's going to give you that muscle replacement bonus. Alright, now we go over to Bioware. So with Bioware, I picked Adrenaline Pump. So Adrenaline Pump is good if you have high armor, because if the damage that you take is less than your armor, you take it in stun damage. If your stun track fills up, it's going to if your stun track fills up, it's going to knock you unconscious. So if you use your adrenaline pump, you're going to roll 2d6, and whatever you roll is going to be the number of rounds that you're going to ignore condition modifiers. And that includes going unconscious when your stun track fills up. So if your stun track fills up, but you have your adrenaline pump working, for those rounds that you rolled for, you could ignore going unconscious for. And any overflow that goes from your stun track into your physical track is a 2-for-1 deal. So any 2 points of stun damage that overflows into your physical is going to give you 1 point of physical damage. So let's say you took, you know, 12 damage. Well, it would take up your stun track, and then it would only take 1 of your physical track instead of 2. So you'd minus the 10 from it, 2 would go in overflow, but since it's 2 overflow into physical, you cut it in half and it's 1. Now another thing I have on here is platelet factories. So for every damage you take in your physical track over 1, so if it's 2 or more, you're gonna take a box away. So if you get 2 damage in your physical track, it's only going to be a 1. If you get 3, it's only going to be a 2. It's 4, so forth. You get the idea. Okay, so some of the other boosters I got in here: Cerebellum booster and Synaptic booster. That's going to add to your reaction, which is your Synaptic booster, and your intuition, which is your Cerebellum booster. Now that's going to add to your initiative. So as you see, my initiative here is actually 14 with the modifiers. So those are from the Cyberware, or Bioware in this case. And you're going to have a modifier of 3 and 2 here. So that's pretty handy there. It's going to give you a really high initiative. Now, I went through skills. Next thing I'm going to go into is street gear. So with street gear, what I usually do when I start a new character is I go up here to this special button and I add a packs kit, and I choose one of these in the community packs drop down menu. Now with this one, I went with the Runner Hub basic gear pack first, and then once I had all the weapons, armor, and gear from that, I went through and I took out what I didn't want and I put in what I wanted. Now, with this, I got a vehicle, Nissan Jackrabbit. Make sure when you have your sensor arrays that you put in what you want for your sensor arrays. You can choose different functions for those. And if it's a vehicle, it's a rating 7. If it's a building, it's rating 8. If it's a person, you have a lower rating. So you can look into the book for that. And I like to have a subcompact car anyway, because if you have weapons and stuff, you want to have a trunk you could stow those in. That's kind of important. If you're riding around on a scooter or something with an assault rifle on your back, you might draw attention. Okay, so now let's get to gear. Now for my uh, Comlink, I chose MCT Blue Defender since I'm not a decker or anything like that. The most important thing I want is a firewall. I'm not really worried about data processing. I just want a firewall so no one could hack into it. So the MCT Blue Defender has a firewall of 5 and a data processing of 1, and it only costs $1,000, which is good for Comlink. Now this is in Data Trails, page 61. Now I added on a MapSoft. That's good to know where your way around if you get lost or something. You can pull up a map. Okay, next thing I got is a MetaLink. This is a burner phone. If you meet somebody shady and you want to give them your number to contact you, but you're not sure you trust the guy yet, just give them your MetaLink number. If you have to toss that phone later, no problem. Next thing you want is Trodes. Now, Trodes are going to be good if you have to go into Matrix for some reason, but you're not a deck or anything like that, so you don't really need to spend too much money on kind of decker gear. Just get some Trodes and you'll be like a basic user. Okay, next thing you got is micro transceiver. Um, I got a micro transceiver for communicating with the team, and I picked up a subvocal microphone. So the micro transceiver actually comes with a subvocal microphone and an earpiece. But I want a subvocal mic just in case I need to use my Comlink so I can talk to other people, not just my team, with a subvocal microphone. And then I picked up a satellite link for those areas where you're outside of, you know, the area where it's coverage. Next thing I got is a camera. That's good for recording what you're doing. Maybe you need to take a picture. You need to send images of what you're doing to your team. They could read those on their image link if they got one. And then I got my fake SIN rating 4, and I got a bunch of licenses. So I got restricted cyberware, concealed carry permit, driver's license, military ammunition, military weapons. And then I got ammo here. I put all my ammo in one place. I just got a kind of a grab bag, stick and shock, which is electrical damage, and it has a good AP rating, armor piercing. And then I got some regular ammo from machine pistol. Now, the reason why I chose regular ammo over something like APDS for my pistol is because if I'm trying to smuggle my pistol in somewhere, if I'm walking around my pistol, if I have APDS in it, it has an F here, which is forbidden. So that could be a problem if I get caught with it. So if I'm rocking around my assault rifle, I'm already rocking an assault rifle. I'm probably out, laying down rounds. But if I'm trying to sneak around with my pistol, trying to get into places, have to do some things like meet a client or something like that, this is a good thing to have regular ammo in, or just stick and shock. It's restricted, but it's not forbidden. Okay, so I got some gel rounds, so I just kind of got a mixed bag of ammunition to use. And of course, you want spare clips. Okay, so cred sticks, just in case you need to give a guy a couple bucks on the street, you got 5 certified cred sticks standard. And then contacts, this is going to give you a bonus to stuff you see with vision magnification. You can, zoom in. You got flare compensation, that's like for flashbangs and those kind of things. Image link, that's so you can see what other people are sending you. So if your teammate is sending you a live feed from their camera, you're going to see it over your image link. And that's in your contacts. And then I have glasses. Now with this, I have vision enhancement, rating 3, and thermographic vision. So thermographic vision will let you see in complete darkness, but it's like black and white. And then you have vision enhancement, which helps you see better. Alright, so now you have earbuds. I got a select sound filter and audio enhancement. So select sound filter will let you kind of tune into one specific conversation. Audio enhancer lets you hear better. Alright, so now you have data chips. Those are just for information. Standard tags if you want to keep track of something. Stealth tags if you want to keep track of someone who doesn't want to be tracked. And then you have some restraints just in case you need to take hostages or you gotta subdue somebody. Slap patch, trauma patch, if you take too much damage you throw on a slap patch. Stim patches, this is for stun damage. Then I got a medkit rating 3. Now with medkits, rating 3 is kind of like a personal medkit you can carry with you. Something like a rating 6 is going to be like a huge duffel bag kind of thing. Maybe you want to stick that in your car if you have a rating 6. I don't have a rating 6 on this because I picked up a Savior medkit. So what a Savior medkit is some nanites that you stick yourself with, and it acts as a rating 6 medkit. Now that you can carry around with you. And a bonus that it does is if you do go in overflow, it stabilizes you automatically. So that's very important. Alright, so let's say you stick yourself after you take like 8 damage or something and you're almost dead, and then you get hit again and you go down. It will automatically stabilize you after the fact because those nanites are still working for you. Alright, so some of the other stuff you're going to want, long haul, if you have to stay awake a long time, that's a good thing to have just in case. Standard rope, survival kit for if you're out there in the wilderness. Gas mask, that's important if you gassed. Crowbar, if you have to pry something. Flashlight, I chose low light because I have low light vision as an elf, so I went with a low light flashlight. Alright, so then I have mini grenades, gas. So neurostun. So that's for me gassing other people. So if you're going to gas somebody, good thing to have is a gas mask. So this is a mini grenade. So what a mini grenade is compared to a regular grenade is it is for a weapon launcher. So if you have a grenade launcher, you're going to use mini grenades. So I have high explosive mini grenades, thermal smoke, and I have 2 regular hand grenades for smoke. Now, the reason why I chose hand grenades is because if you need to get out of dodge, you pull the pin and you drop it at your feet and then you run. That way they can't see you as you're running away to shoot you. And if you need to drop it in a window or something like that, you just pull the pin, drop it in a window. Now, the reason why I chose thermal smoke for my grenade launcher is because that's going to be launched into an area to deny vision in that area, and thermal smoke will block vision, thermographic vision. If you have regular smoke, you'll still be able to see in it if you have thermographic vision. So that's kind of my reasoning behind why I chose smoke grenades for my regular grenades and thermal grenades for my grenade launcher. Because the grenade launcher is going to launch that thermal smoke far away from me. The smoke grenade is going to be close to me, and I don't want to be blind. Then next thing I picked up is a duffel bag. This is just something, if you're going from your car to your apartment, you might just want to pick up a duffel bag so you have your assault rifle in a duffel bag and not just carrying it around. And then a backpack to put all this crap in when I'm out and about. So obviously you're not going to carry all this junk with you all the time, but there's going to be a few things you're going to take with you, maybe in pockets. But if you want to take it all with you out and about, maybe you're out in the barren somewhere, then you have your backpack. And a lockpick set, lockpick, that's if you want to pick lock, and that's going to go off of your lockpick skill, locksmith. So go back over here, street gear. Now, If your lockpick fails, then you have your mini welder. And you might want to pick up a couple extra fuel canisters for your mini welder. Okay, so that's your regular gear. Then I got weapons. So, these are the weapons I chose. I chose a Remington suppressor. This could be found on Gunhaven 3, page 9, and this comes equipped with a sound suppressor. And then I put a personalized grip. That's going to increase your accuracy by 1. Then a laser sight, that increases accuracy by 1. Holographic sight increases accuracy by 1. Put a spare clip, so that actually puts a spare clip on the magazine, so you flip it around and you got 15 more shots, whereas normally you'd only have ammo of 15 in that clip. You flip it around, you got another 15, so you don't have to rummage around in your molly gear to try to find your other magazine. And then with the concealed quick draw holster, which is found on Running Gun page 51, it has a concealability of -1. Normally it'd be 0. So with a -1, that's pretty good. You can conceal that on your character pretty good. Just remember, make sure you have the sleight of hand skill, or what do you call it? Where is it? The palming skill. That's what it's called, palming. Alright, so back to street gear. And then I picked up a Ares Alpha. And then it comes with a smart gun system. I don't usually like running smart gun systems because those could be hacked, so I didn't really bother with picking up any kind of DNI or any of that kind of stuff. And then I got a low light flashlight already on the Alpha with a laser sight, which gives you accuracy, personalized grip, which gives you accuracy. Now with Ares Alpha, I went with a gas vent system 3, so that gives you better recoil compensation. So my recoil compensation is at 7. So it has a base of 2 and a gas vent of 3 with plus the strength of 3. So you have 7 shots before you start spraying and praying. Next thing you have is a grenade launcher, which is included with the Ares Alpha. Now remember, the Ares Alpha is a forbidden weapon. So if you're going to carry around Ares Alpha, it's a good thing that you're just going loud. You don't. This is not time to go quiet. This is time to go loud. You could put a suppressor on it. Remember too, a suppressor is also forbidden. It's 9F. So if you're going to take your Remington suppressor somewhere, you might want to take your suppressor off of it and stash the suppressor, and then you know come in. I got my Remington suppressor. Here's my license for it. I'm good to go. Now I got monofilament whip. Now this has an armor penetration of -8. That is huge. And it has a reach of 2. That's also huge. And then it has a conceality of -4, which is huge. And it does 12 physical damage. This is a very good weapon. That's just base. That's a great weapon. So I put a personalized grip on it, so it gives me an extra accuracy, so now I have accuracy of 6. Okay, so that's your weapons. Now let's look at clothing and armor. So I got a helmet. I got some forearm guards. Now these things give you a +2. These things give you a +1. Now remember, anything over a +3 for this character is going to give negatives. So if you look at my strength, I'm at 3 strength. Now if you look at my armor, I'm only giving a +3 with the helmet and a +1 with the armor. So these two things give you a plus bonus to your armor. If you put in, say, like PPP, whatever gear on here that gives you another plus, for every +1 over 3 with a strength of 3, you're going to get negative bonuses to your agility, and it's just going to be bad. I think it also limits your movement, I don't want to mess with that. So I only want a +3. So 2 here and a 1 here. And then for like my out and about gear, I chose the Ares Victory Big Game Hunter. Now this is cool because it has gear access, and then it comes with a liner, so you get free 6 points of either fire resistance, non-conductivity, or chemical protection, which you can choose which one. I want all three, and since the Victory Big Game Hunter has a capacity of 12, I put 6 of chemical protection, 6 of non-conductivity, and then I use the fire resistance liner to give all three. Okay, so the other thing that is an addition that you could put on certain gear is protection from radiation. Um, I'm not too worried about it. If I need to go into a radiated area, I can always go and buy something later on that hopefully won't be like the first mission that you ever do for your new game. Because if you do, you're going to go in a radiated area and you're going to be in trouble. Okay, so for my business suit, which is where you go to meet like clients, or you go to meet your fixer, you want kind of be in a suit and tie. You don't want to be running around in your heavy armor. So for this, I got a business suit. So with Vashon Island Synergist Business Line suit, it has custom fit. What that means is you can stack these two, and you'll get the difference between the two as a bonus to your armor. So you have armor of 9 and an armor of 3 with your line coat. Now, see, if you take off this one, you look at this one, it has a base of 10, and this one has a base of 9. So you equip this one, and then you equip this one. It's going to ask you, enter a value for custom fit stack. So I'm going to pick the business line and press OK. Now that armor goes down to 3. So you have 9 plus 3. So right now I have this business suit on, and my armor rating is 18. Now most of the time you're probably not going to run around with your helmet on, so you're going to take that off, which is going to bring you down to 16. Now with forearm guards, it might be kind of GM dependent whether or not you could wear that under your clothing and it be seen. I think that forearm guards are probably fine for wearing under your suit and not be seen. But then again, if you have to take that off, that's going to cut it down to 15. But let's say you're going out and about into the sticks and you're going full on armor. You put on your big game hunter, put on your forearm guards, put on your helmet, and you're going to have an armor of 20. And then on top of that, I put some gloves, jewelry, a watch, some clothing, and a ski mask. Now these things are mostly just for, kind of rounding out the character. He has clothing, he has a watch, he has jewelry. And then I put cheap gloves because you don't want to leave fingerprints, and then a ski mask because sometimes you don't want to show your face. Now, the reason why I chose a ski mask over having a ballistic mask is because you can stick it in your pocket, say if you're wearing your business suit. You're not really going to carry around a ballistic mask in your business suit, but you can wear a ski mask if things get hot in your business suit. Say you're get into a situation where you're wearing your business suit and you want to hide your identity, you got your ski mask with you. If you want to go out in your battle rattle and you want to hide your identity, you can still wear a ski mask. Now, if you had a ballistic mask, you could probably do it when you're out and about, but you wouldn't take that with you inside a restaurant. But you could stick a ski mask in your pants if you had to hide it somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so I chose a low lifestyle. Now, in Shadowrun 5th edition, the only real negative you're going to get from having a bad lifestyle is if you're living on the street. So if you're living on the street, you're going to have to be rolling your survival skill every night that you're out there, or else you're going to take stun damage or fatigue, and that's not good. So you want to at least have a low lifestyle, at least to start. As you get better money, as you start having jobs, you get money rolling in, you can improve your lifestyle. But when you're starting out, you probably just want to go with a low lifestyle to save you some cash. And that's it for this. If you guys have any questions, actually, I can go a little bit into character information. So with this character, I just put some basic information. So the reason why I do this with a new character is I don't know what my GM is going to want for a world that you're going to be living in. So I make my information pretty basic, and then I can expand upon that once I learn about the world or the game we're going to be playing. So let's say you had this whole backstory set her up around Ares. You worked for Ares and they fired you and you lost your dog or whatever. Well, then you get to your game table and they say, well, Ares isn't in this game. Then what are you going to do? You have to go back in and change everything. With this, you just have a very basic, I just put gang crossfire. If he wants to say, this gang is existing in this world, then I can say, well, it was the anarchists or the, Crips or the Bloods or something, whatever it is. You can put that in here. If that doesn't exist in that world, then you have to go back and change things. If you keep it just kind of basic, then you don't have to worry about that. You can just kind of work in it later. Alright, so another thing I like to do is with my notes, if I have some kind of equipment that I need a reminder about the rules, then I want to put it into my notes so I can have a quick reference of what, say, platelet factories do, or what the adrenaline pump does. Or, if I'm firing off a weapon, I have the scatter table. If I'm firing off a grenade, I know what the scatter rules are. If I have a concealed pocket, which is what I have in one of my street gear things, I have it in the forearm guards. I have a concealed pocket. So I want to know, well, what does a concealed pocket do? It's a -2 concealability modifier to a object that's in the pocket. It could be something the size of a holdout pistol, comlink. If I want to stick a smoke grenade in there, it's small, -2 concealability modifier to it, so it won't be found. Alright, so that's good to have. Some other things I have on here is what neurostun does in the grenades. That's going to be helpful to know if I throw a stun grenade out there that I know what it does. Alright, so, oh yeah, and I put a picture here. I just found this on the internet and cut it down to size in Windows Paint or whatever, and then I just pasted it in here with add and change. And then I put in, sex, age, eye color, hair color, height, weight, skin color, and a name that I just made up. So if you want to make up names real easy, there is like a name generator you can find on Google, and that's how I got these names. I just put a name generator. I think these were like rapper names or something like that. Rapper name generator. Yeah, so that's how I got those. So that's kind of funny. That's why I got Wildface Ted and Martin Spartan. Alright, so this has been a character build for Shadowrun 5th edition. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and comment. You don't have to like or subscribe or anything. This is just a small channel. I do this for fun. Alright, guys, see ya.